Hello, everyone. Welcome to another webinar series put on by the Kawartha Sexual Assault Center. We'll start by just introducing the facilitators that are here. So my name is Alicia Fisher. I am the Prevention Education Supervisor with the Kawartha Sexual Assault Center. And we have Victoria.
Hi, my name's Victoria. I'm a volunteer at KSAC and I do a lot of the web chat and crisis line.
Cool. And then we have Maria.
Hi, I'm Maria. I'm a volunteer at KSAC.
Awesome. Cool. So let's get into what we're talking about today. Today, we're talking about the world of media, and this is geared more towards grades 1 through 3. Here we go. Okay, TV, tablets, computers, and what we see. So what are we going to be talking about today? So today we're going to be doing a little bit of an overview about who we are and what our center is. What do we mean by the word media? So we're just going to be discussing what that means and what it means in terms of what we see and where we see it. And we're going to talk about the good and the bad sides of the world of media. Is it fantastic, or does it have some bad stuff? Is it a little bit of both? We're going to be talking about that. And then, there's a lot that we can see in the world of media. So what if you see something that made you a little upset? And we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. So who we are, we are a center that supports people who have been harmed in a very intimate, very private way. And so at our center, we support all different kinds of people who've experienced this harm and don't really feel good. So at our center, we talk to people one-on-one. We talk to people over the phone, like webcam, just like this. And it's just about supporting people and making people happy again, right? And then we also have a little puppy at our center. Now, our center is just open by appointment right now, but this is Ludo, who just likes to sit with people who come to our center and get support. On the other side, we do public education just like this, where we go and talk to people just like you about all these different types of topics around consent and being happy with other people and how we can create a world that is all about happiness and respecting other people. There is a center that joins us for a lot of these presentations. It is a very big word, but it's called Niche Quinnidat Anishinaabe Quaywog Service Circle. So they are located at the same area of us in Peterborough, and they support Indigenous families for people who have been harmed as well. So it's kind of similar type of hurt that these people experience and then come visit this center. And so with Niche Quinnidat, they support the whole family using Indigenous practices, as well as more Western medicalization and approaches. So it's all about just really supporting people where they're at, and if they are Indigenous, just supporting that culture and the understanding of that culture and how that can be a really healing opportunity to make everyone feel better. Okay, so what is media? What do we mean when we say the word media? Now, if you're with your class today, maybe you can talk about that with them. What do they think media is? There's a couple clues on the screen right now, but we're just going to move to the next slide. And maybe, Maria, you can read what it says that media is.
Yeah, media is any form of communication that reaches a lot of people at once.
Definitely. And so there's a lot of different ways that we can receive information, right? So for some of us, maybe we have phones, or we have older brothers and sisters that have phones, and they can get a lot of information on those phones. For some people, it's TV, right? And what we see on a TV screen. Sometimes there's really cool and funny TV shows that are on there, and sometimes it's some more serious stuff. Then there's the radio, and so that's more of an audio, so things that we listen to, and you can hear music on there. You can maybe stream your own music on there. Sometimes there's people on there talking as well. There's also our laptops and computers. And so depending on what we're looking at on our computer, if we go online, for example, we can see a lot of different things online that's created and shown to us. There's also books, magazines, that's all about sharing information as well. Even our tablets. So some of us have tablets, whether it's for school or whether it's at home. So watching lots of videos on there, maybe playing some games on there, and then we have the gaming console on there. So it's a different type of information that we get in the gaming world. But overall, like a lot of different ways that we get information about the world. Maybe Victoria, did you have anything that you wanted to add about this world of the media and where we receive information?
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's also like the Switch, like lots of other gaming types, like PS5, Xbox, the Switch, things like that, that you can communicate with other people and play games on. And
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Maria, did you have anything that you wanted to add, or maybe a certain way that you receive a lot of media?
I think I receive a lot of media from social media sites like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I know a lot of us are on there, and I think a lot of us always have to get like parental support before we can go on these forms of medias, right? And so media is something that we should watch or listen to with our parents, our caregivers, trusted adults, or ask before we start watching, right? It's really important that we're talking to a trusted adult or our parents or caregivers about what we're seeing in the media, and every time we go to use it, right? Because sometimes there's things that pop up that's not really meant for us, that's not really, it's more something that your parents are doing or watching. And so that way it's always important to check in with whoever's looking after you, even if it's a teacher, to make sure that what we're looking at on the media or on our screen is okay. Maria or Victoria, do you have anything to add about the importance of talking to family members or adults about the media that we see?
Yeah, I think it can be a good way to understand what we're looking at if we're able to talk about what we're seeing with other people.
Yeah, Victoria?
it could just be a good way to make sure that what we're seeing is like appropriate, and making sure that, parents or caregivers or just adults is also comfortable with like you watching or seeing that sort of stuff too. And yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes we can't control what pops up, right? So it's just super important to check in. Definitely. So media and what we see. So, it's always important that we check in with our parents before we start looking at the media or listening to it, or if we have questions. But, medias can make us feel a lot of different things, right? So, yeah, we can talk about how we feel after watching this. I don't know, Maria, Victoria, how are you feeling after that one?
Happy, that was so funny and it was so cute.
Yeah, entertained. It was really funny.
Yeah, definitely funny. I even felt maybe a little bit warm inside, because it was not only funny watching the dog do whatever the dog was doing, or listening to my bird, but it was also like just funny and heartwarming to hear that little girl laugh, right? Like she was laughing pretty hard at that. And so like media can make us laugh, it can make us giggle, it can make us happy. Yeah, let's watch it again, sure. Yeah, and then there's like different forms of media too, right? Especially, with dogs and
Did you understand me?
Yeah, so maybe Maria, any thoughts or reactions to this form of media?
I think this makes me happy because it makes me think about my own pets.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely good one. Yeah, for sure, Victoria.
It makes me like happy. It's so sweet that they love their owner so much.
Sorry, it was just a little quiet. Could you repeat it?
Oh yeah, sure. I was saying it makes me happy because it's so sweet that they love their owner so much.
Yeah, it's happy, it's sweet, like it's almost like, oh my gosh, they must have been away from their pet for so long, to make the pet react like this. And so it's like different emotions for watching this video with dogs. And sometimes there's other videos of dogs that can kind of make us upset and make us cry, right? Like especially depending on how the dog reacts, especially after seeing the owner after such a long time, like it can almost be a little sad, right? So a lot of different emotions for different media that we see, and obviously these are different types of videos. Oh, come on, different types of videos, but maybe this can be a discussion that you can have right now with your class before we go into a brief overview. But can media be good or can media be bad? I think Zena, my bird, has a reaction to that. But is media good or is media bad? Let's take a look at that. Let's discuss that. So, okay, media, it can spread important information very, very fast. Yeah, Victoria, do you have anything to say to that and how quickly information can spread?
Yeah, it can be pretty much immediate because you can like send an email and 2 seconds later that person is gonna get that email. So
Yeah, Maria. Or like, why
Yeah.
is spreading information fast a good thing?
It can be good because then you can connect with other people or maybe share information. But you just have to keep in mind that there's so many people online that information is going to go to.
Yeah, right. A lot of people are getting this information very fast, and there's definitely information that's really important, especially looking at the world we're in right now, right? It's always good to get all the updates to keep ourselves safe, our family safe, our pets safe. And so, if there's an important message out there in the media, it can be spread very fast and it can update worldwide, right? Like we can know what's going on in the United States or what's going on in, I don't know, what's a Sweden or Australia, or where's some other, or the continent of Africa. Like all over the world, we can get all of these updates. Yeah, Victoria or Maria, have you ever seen any updates from other parts of the world?
definitely Sweden and China and things like that.
Yeah, Maria.
Yeah, even other countries and places that are completely different time zone than us as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, lots of information that's spreading all around the world. This is kind of going off of what Maria said, but we can virtually connect with our friends, we can connect with our family and our classmates. Yeah, Victoria, do you have anything to say about how media can help us connect with friends, family, classmates?
Yeah, for sure. So like you can, even though we're apart right now, people are still connecting through like Zoom or connecting through playing games or like social media using that so that we can all still feel connected.
Yeah, Maria.
And also similar to being able to update worldwide, sometimes we have friends or family that live really far away. And so it's nice that we can still talk to them virtually.
hmm Yeah, maybe Victoria can talk about this a little bit, but what's the difference between media and social media?
Um, Actually, I'm not too sure how to explain it.
Yeah, it's hard to explain. Maria, do you have any insight? Sorry, I know I kind of was like, we're talking about social media, but never really like defined it.
I think that social media is a type of media, but there can also be a lot of different other types of media that aren't necessarily considered social media, like TV maybe.
Hmm. Yeah, like social media examples could be like Zoom could be a form of social media. It's about connecting to other people. Maybe certain apps that are either on that you interact with or that your parents interact with. So like Facebook or TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. Like it's definitely something more kind of social, talking to each other, as opposed to the information going like one way, right? And so if we watch TV, we can yell at the TV, we can yell at the news person as loud as we want, but they're not going to hear us, right? Maybe sometimes we have to tell our parents that when our parents are yelling at like a sports game, right? So as much as we are yelling at the TV, that they're not gonna be able to hear us. So social media kind of has like a multiple way of communication. Oh, Victoria, you can do this one. Playing games. What kind of games? Why are playing games good with media?
Yeah, playing games is a lot of fun, and using media so that way you can actually play with others, like playing online and playing with your friends, hosting events, and like there's tournaments as well. Like that's a lot of fun, and it's a good way to connect with people with an interest that everyone like loves, which is good.
Hmm. Yeah, and like, with video games, like what do you besides having fun, like is there other things that you kind of learn or like any skills that you gain?
I guess talking. Sorry, my cat. Talking to people virtually, different skills that you learn in games depending on what type of game. I guess shooting games, or yeah, or like Legend of Zelda, where you learn different mazes and other like strategy skills. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like it's working on your memory, it's working on kind of like your reactions to certain things. Maria, I don't know how much online gaming do you do?
I do more gaming that is just like by myself. I love like Animal Crossing is my favorite game. And so I think it's interesting that it can be something that you can do on your own, or you can also play with other people if you want.
Hmm. And what's the positive sides of playing that certain game that you're playing?
I think it's a form of entertainment. Just when you have some free time, it can be fun to play a game that you enjoy.
Yeah, definitely. And I think there's a couple things down here that can kind of connect, but yeah, maybe we'll come back to learning. But like entertaining, right? Like media can be really entertaining. It can be really funny. We saw with those dog videos. Sometimes there's a funny cat videos. Sometimes there's funny human videos as well. So it can be really entertaining and funny, but it could also help relax us, right? So whether we're having like a really kind of stressed out day and we go and watch some media or go watch some videos or watch some people talking, like it can kind of help us kind of calm us down, chill us out, especially if we had kind of a long day at school, and it can kind of like bring us into like another world, right? Ria, do you have anything to add about media being like entertaining, funny, or relaxing?
Yeah, I think it's a good way to kind of just shut your mind off and do something that makes you happy. Um, and so it can be really relaxing, or it can also be really energizing if it's like a very like stressful game that you have to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Victoria, anything to add to that one?
No, I think she hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, okay, cool. And then yeah, to kind of go back a couple, learning, right? So a lot of us are learning and have been learning. We in a more virtual space, kind of like we are now. So there's people who are that were learning last year, and then now we're online learning this year. So whether we're doing kind of like a Zoom chat where we're talking with a bunch of different people, or even just watching videos online, right, about certain concepts, kind of like this is a form of media, and how we're not actually talking to you, but talking about a certain topic, right? So it can be, you can learn a lot of new things, you can learn a lot of really cool things, there can be some cool experiments on there. I forget what his last name is, but it's this scientist named Mark, and he does all these really big elaborate, he did a really funny one with squirrels and making them go through an obstacle course to get all these different types of nuts. And so it can be educational and it can be new and exciting. Maria, do you have anything to add about media being like a learning tool?
Yeah, I think just as you said, it can be something that's really fun and exciting. You can learn things like at school, but you can also learn things outside of school. If there's like a hobby that you're interested in, you can use media to kind of like watch videos and learn about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Victoria, did you learn about needle felting online?
Yeah, I did. I did through YouTube. It was a great way to learn and be entertained at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. And so, we've been talking about social media or just media in general through this really good lens, but there can also be side effects. There could also be the other side, the bad side. So, let's look at that kind of bad side, right? We have to look at both sides to really understand a full picture of media at this point. And so on one side, we have that it spreads a lot of important information very fast, but sometimes that information can be false or maybe not entirely true, right? So the thing with media is that anyone is able to post, like anyone can make a post. And that, there's certain forms of media where it definitely has to be more accurate, like when we're watching the news, or when we're like learning in class, like that definitely has to be more accurate. But sometimes, like if you're watching videos on YouTube, for example, like anyone can upload a video to YouTube, and so it doesn't necessarily have to be true or accurate, but it could actually be false. Maria, do you have any thoughts or ideas about that kind of false or bad information?
Yeah, I think it can also be really hard to know if something is false or not. Sometimes it can be really obvious that something isn't true, but other times it's really hard to tell what's true and what's not true.
Yeah, Victoria, did you have anything to add?
Yeah, like with videos and like YouTubers, sometimes it can be hard to tell whether what they're saying is more opinion based or if it's just facts. So yeah, it's good to be able to know how to differentiate.
Yeah, it can definitely be really hard. Um, we can like talk about, if we see something online that we're not entirely sure. Do you guys have any tips of what you can do to try to figure out if it's true or not, or anyone that you can talk to? Maybe Maria or whoever feels like they want to. Yeah.
You can maybe try talking to someone who you think would know more about the subject, like maybe your teacher or like a parent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Victoria, was there anyone else that you want to add?
Just like any friends too, you could just ask them in case they might know something as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Some of the images that we see on the media can be kind of sad. Maybe they can be upsetting or really confusing or sometimes really scary, right? So that can be a lot, especially if we want to go on media and or on social media and watch videos and laugh, and then we see a really kind of scary video or video that makes us really sad or makes us like kind of confused of like why is there a video like this. Maria, do you have anything to talk about with that one, seeing things online that are kind of sad or confusing?
Yeah, I think I've definitely come across some things online that are upsetting by accident. So I wasn't trying to look at them, but they just came up as I was scrolling or like popped up in a video. So sometimes we might not intentionally try and look for those type of things, but we can just come across them by accident.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Victoria, do you have anything to add to that? Maybe like if you're like playing a video game or something like that and something has come up or
Yeah, there's definitely been times where there are like really sad moments in video games or really upsetting moments depending on the game. And knowing when to it's a good time to play that game and when it's not a good time is really important for yourself and your own mental health.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think what's important with understanding media is that like this is something that is in front of you. Like it's on a TV, it's on some sort of like tablet or phone or computer. And so it's really important to pay attention to your body and feel what is your body saying on the inside and to understand that that is really important, right? We have to think about our mental health and that sometimes it's better to just put the phone away or to um, turn the phone off or to talk to someone about what you've seen, right? So whether it's a teacher or a parent or any sort of like a caregiver or a counselor at your school, it's really important to talk to people, especially if you see something that's quite upsetting or just makes you a little confused, right? Now, on social media, you can have strangers that could message you. They could be super random people. They could be people saying really, really nice things to you, but you don't really know them. And so that can be really hard to think about it and to deal with because you have someone that can be saying really nice things to you and can make you feel really good. But we have to remember that even talking to someone online doesn't necessarily make them a friend, right? Especially if they're older than us. And the thing with especially social media is that you can create like a fake profile too, right? And so it's important to know that not everyone is who they are on social media, and that on some social media spaces you have to be people can fake their age, right? Some people can say that they're an adult, some people can say that they're a kid in order to play a certain game. And so you can have strangers message you, and these could be messages that can make you feel good, but it's important to know that these messages are still coming from a stranger, right? Unless your parents meet them, unless you're meeting them at school in a very kind of safer place, we don't really know these people. So it's important that if you have a stranger messaging you and wants to get to know you, or maybe ask questions about where you live and who's home, it's really important to know that you should be talking to your parents or maybe talking to a teacher about this just to make sure it's okay, right? Sometimes we may think it's a stranger and it turns out that it's a family member that has a really weird name or a friend that has a weird name. But it's important to be talking about these things with your parents just to make sure that everyone's okay, right? Maria, do you have anything to add about any strangers messaging us? We talked about how we can connect with our friends and family, but sometimes we have strangers.
Yeah, I think it's important to look at your privacy settings or maybe asking a parent to help you look at your privacy settings. With my social media, I know that I have it set so that strangers can't see any of my posts, only my friends can see what I post. So it's important to set it up so that you're comfortable with what's being put online.
Yeah, definitely. I'll go to the next one and then I'll come to Victoria. But sometimes the messages that we get can be pretty mean or strange or weird. Maybe they can be a constant and a lot of really mean messages. Victoria, did you want to talk about that? Because I know you've had a lot of experience with that in the online gaming world, right? Which is not something you ask for, but it's something that you've experienced.
Yeah, for sure. So especially with online gaming, there's lots of people that, in the heat of the moment or they're feeling stressed or they just want to say something, they can say something really mean and, or really strange. And it's important that if you're not comfortable with it, that you can either like say, hey, I'm not very comfortable, or knowing that you can leave the game or block the person and all your options. That way you feel safe and comfortable while playing games or even on social media.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's important to like talk to your parents too about if you're receiving a lot of mean messages or some messages asking about where you live. It's important to talk to your parents, even though if you're playing the game that you shouldn't be playing and you've snuck on, your safety is really important. And even though your parents may or caregivers may be a little bit upset with you at that moment, just know that there's instances or there's experiences where a stranger wants to know more about you, and that can be really unsafe, right? So it's important that we talk to someone when we receive those messages. Media, it can keep us awake or it can make us feel like we have to keep playing, right? We have to get to that next level, or some of the information that we're receiving can just keep us awake, and it can be really hard to go to sleep. And sometimes too, we've got ads that can pop up, and sometimes those ads are super cool. We saw them even in the videos that we were watching. I don't know what they were for, but sometimes those ads pop up of like, oh, look at this free trip to Disneyland, or look at this other website that has a cute dog on it too. Just know that a lot of those ads are really unsafe, and before we click something, we should always be checking in with our friends and family members. Maria, do you have anything to add to those last 2 points?
Yeah, I think with ads, it's sort of similar to when we were talking about false information, because sometimes ads can try and get you to click on something by telling you that you won like a prize or something, but that might not be true. And if you click on it, it can be dangerous and take you to a site that you didn't want to go to. So it's just important not to click on any ads that you aren't sure what they are.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. I'm just gonna move on to the next part, because something we talked about is who can we talk to if we see something online that's upsetting, that's a little strange. Maybe it's making us have these really weird butterflies in our stomach. So who can we talk to if we see something that is upsetting for us? So we can talk to our parents. We can talk to a caregiver in our life, someone that looks after us and that we talk to, right? So a trusted adult. We could also go to a teacher or a counselor at the school, maybe even the principal, depending on what's said. So if we're receiving a lot of mean messages, we can talk to someone at our school. We can also talk to, if you're seeing a counselor, if you're seeing someone like a trusted adult, like a counselor, like a therapist, like a doctor, even someone that we trust, an adult that we trust, can be someone that we talk to. It could even be like an older sibling. Sometimes with our friends, maybe they're just experiencing these things for the first time, and maybe our friends can definitely help, like as someone to talk to. But especially when it comes to stuff online and in media, it's really good to talk to someone who's a little bit older to get an understanding of what is this something that's safe. So like an older sibling or an older friend that you have, just to check in. And if those resources or those people that to talk to are not really available, or maybe you're feeling a little scared because you're playing a game that you shouldn't have been playing, there is a help phone line. It's called Kids Help Phone, and it's just a place where you can talk if you're feeling a little uncomfortable, or just need someone to talk to. I know Nietzsche Cornetta always mentions, if you are a part of an Indigenous community, maybe talking to an elder about the things you've seen, or if you're feeling a little upset, and you're having some different emotions, some negative emotions. It's really important that we're taking care of not only our physical health, but also our mental health as well, and how we're feeling in our minds. Um, Victoria, did you have any other people? Or I think, yeah, it's a pretty good list, but did you have any other people you were thinking about?
I guess maybe even extended family if you're close with like your cousins or anything like that, or yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Maria, did you happen to have anyone else, any other people that you can think about to talk to?
Maybe if you know someone from a hobby that you do, like if you play some sports, your coach could be someone to talk to, or if you have like a nanny or a babysitter that you trust, you could talk to them.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Especially if you're playing a game that you shouldn't have been playing, maybe talking, and your parents might get mad at you. Maybe talking to that babysitter or that nanny, someone who's taking care of you. Definitely. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. If you are an educator and you would like to fill out the survey, any and all feedback is always deeply appreciated. And at our center, we offer 3 different lines of 24/7 support, crisis support. So we have our text line, our phone line, and online web chats. Now, you don't need to be in crisis to access those supports, but if you have general questions, or maybe you aren't really sure where to go or who to ask for help, we can connect you with those people. Another service we have at our center is more advocacy and support, and that's something that Victoria does. Maybe Victoria, you could talk about that, because you can access that through our crisis support, and then we can provide that accompaniment and advocacy, peer support.
Yeah, for sure. So if you ever say going somewhere where you don't feel comfortable, or say like court process, to the doctors, to the hospital, anything like that, and you just want support, that's what our accompaniment services are, is to help support you through those times and to be with you and make sure you're okay. And peer support is about people like around your age just supporting you, so that way you can build like a connection with them.
And if you're a teacher too, like, we can provide that accompaniment as well. And now there's also a youth group that happens at Neach Quinnidat. Now this is for a little bit older than what we're talking about here, but this is a youth group that's happening every Monday night with Neach Quinnidat via Zoom. So a lot of traditional healing and medicine happening there, and they also have pretty much supports for all ages. So if you are Indigenous looking for supports, they're fantastic. Well, I want to thank Maria and Victoria so much for coming on here today. Thank you both so much for engaging in this conversation. We super appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye.